is your guys' view or perspective about the current way of registering as a professional in the built-in environment? And then, what do you say? Is it transformative? Is it interesting? Is it enticing? Does it draw you? Does it make you have a zeal to register? Or it's something that you guys have not researched about, or you think it's something that is not worth doing? And if it's not worth doing, why? And if it's something that is worth doing, why? And then what's your recommendation? How can you come up with new ways of improving or assessing professionals before they get this professional registration or before they get registered?
Nothando, I'm going to start with you on this one because I know you have some views. You expressed them at the last conversation we had. So, what are your thoughts in terms of the current registration processes, and how can it be improved?
Look, I'll start by saying I believe registration is a very important part of our industry. I often have serious complaints when I look at what they call bakkie boers in the industry, where a person can literally buy a bakkie, 2 shovels, and they automatically become contractors. I think in that sense, we have a long way to go in regulating who enters the industry and who cannot enter the industry. When you look at professionals like medical doctors, for instance, I cannot come into the industry without getting certain accreditation to be called a medical doctor. So I believe as an industry, we need to reinforce the registration process and ensure that it is adhered to. When it comes to professional bodies, I think there's a lot of improvement that still needs to be done in terms of how the registration processes are done and the timelines of when potential candidates are responded to. And I think they need to give a clearer path, if I may say, as to timelines. So you do this today and it takes so many days or months, if it may be, to get you registered, given you qualify for that registration. Yeah, that's basically it. They are a very important part of us. I think for now, they're doing a good job. A lot of improvement can still be done though.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your views are very mild compared to the last time, but that's fine. SISEKO,
I've gotten the help I needed.
SISEKO, your take on the current registration processes, especially to be a professional built environment, depending on whether it's quantity surveying or professional engineer or professional construction management. What are your views in the current processes, and if there are any issues, how can they be improved?
Okay, thank you, Untitled. I must say before I comment, the current processes are quite satisfying, quite good, especially when it comes to quantity surveying. We've seen the Council of Quantity Surveying progressing throughout changing the regulations and also enforcing ethics and professionalism within the industry. So just to answer the question, first of all, we've got SAC-QSP, we've got EXA, we've got SAC-PCMP. I want to comment, I know it's a general question, but I want to comment on SAC-PCMP, that is registering the construction project managers. I believe we all know the challenges that the council is experiencing. We've seen it on the news as well. We know how long they take to reply to emails. I've tried to be a candidate myself, but I'm not going to focus on negative things about the council. We are seeing more youth registering these days, but the question is, what's the main purpose of registering as a professional? and what needs to change after you are a professional as compared to the time when you were a candidate. So we've got the councils that we register in, and we get the international recognition. So when you register to the Council of South African Quantity Surveyors, you get international recognition as compared to when you are not registered. So that's one of the factors that would motivate one to register as a professional quantity surveyor or engineer or a project manager, whatever it can be. Now, in terms of the improvement strategies of these councils, I think it is quite important that they need to keep up with the change in the world, basically. So there was an introduction of CPDs, meaning they've introduced a process of ensuring that professionals are in good standing. And they are going to be in good standing by attending seminars and webinars and teaching and all those things. So those are part of personal or professional improvement. So that goes to my first comment by saying that the councils have actually improved throughout the year. So for me, when I am a professional, I'm going to get pressure in ensuring that I'm in good standing with the council. I'm going to be attending seminars. I'm going to be learning new methods in the industry, keeping up to date in order to ensure that my CPD hours are on point. Now, going to another point, I'm not going to waste much time. We get professionals who are registered, but still are acting unethical and unprofessional. So those are the things that the councils need to address, because those people are presenting the image of that specific council. And there are, for an example, quantity surveyors that are registered with the council as professionals, but I'm not expecting them to be 100% to know basically everything about quantity surveying, but there's basic quantity surveying tasks that one should know in order for them to be registered. But you find out that those people are registered, and you ask yourself that how come that one is registered but can't do basic quantity surveying tasks? So those are the things that the council needs to improve on, and that applies to EXA, that applies to SACTCMP as well. So that's my stance.
Thank you, SISEKO. That was very mouthful. Nancy, what is your experience with registration councils as a professional? Is there any improvement that needs to be done, and what has been your experience?
Okay, first I'd like to say thank you very much to Marcus for the question. I personally appreciate this one because I have quite a bit to say. All right, so I will start with the fact or the question of, is professional registration necessary? And I think the answer is yes, it is. But I think in construction, a lot of people are operating without registration. As NOTHANDO pointed out, you buy yourself a bakkie, you get some shovels, you go there, subcontracting, or it's generally very, very easy for people to enter the construction industry. Too easy, actually. So I think from a professional registration point of view, it's important that the professional bodies are more strict or more stringent in how they enforce the actual need for registration and actual requirements for being considered a professional. Then secondly is the actual process of registering. Okay, so I think we must kind of take the bodies individually. So I'm lucky enough that I know quite a number of people who have dealt with the Engineering Council, Quantity Surveying Council, and myself who's dealt with the Project Management Council, or the main one, SACMP. Now, I think quantity surveying and engineering, the process seems to be more kind of regulated and consistent in terms of this is what you need to do, this is the process you need to follow. Then after X amount of years, the interview or the exam, then you become a qualified professional. I think I think a lot of SISEKO has mentioned that the SACMP has improved a lot. I don't know, I can't speak to that. I don't think I have enough experience with them to comment. But I think a lot of what I find myself is that the process is it's time consuming and it's frustrating. And that's where a lot of people want to register, but it's kind of like, how do I go about it? Or not how do I go about it, but kind of you just kind of get so many complications that at the end you kind of are like, it's fine, let me park it for a later stage. Then the other point I want to raise as well is that especially in private sector, having the registration is not a requirement. I think once you get to a certain experience level, then yes, definitely it's enforced. But a lot of, and unfortunate to say, a lot of project managers that I have dealt with are not actually registered, but they are carrying on and well doing the job. So yeah, those are the points that I want to put forward.